What I love about VACAYA is that we're inclusive of everybody, and we want to encourage that kind of community of all of the letters. I'm Kim. I'm the executive producer for VACAYA.
And I'm Randle. I am the CEO of VACAYA, but instead of standing for Chief Executive Officer, it's Chief Experience Officer. Yes. And it's about creating an experience that our guests can engage with and connect with other people. From the games that we played today at the pool to the parties.
Finding that kind of joy, all of that is part of what creates our community.
Well, I love that word that you just used, joy, because at its core, that is what we're trying to bring to our community. This is a really rough world right now, and people need those escapes so that they can feel the joy, even if it's just for 1 week at a time.
Hi, this is Kevin, Director of Media Technology, DeKemp.
And I'm Trevor, Creative Director and Social Media Manager, Dow.
And this is VTV,
the definitive podcast for all things LGBT travel,
pop culture,
and where we share diverse perspectives from members within our community. Welcome back to the studio, Kev.
Here we are again for season 4 of VTV.
For Loco. What have you been up to since wrapping season 3?
Oh my gosh, in season 3, we've had so many fun vacations and VACAYA trips. This was recorded on our Mexico 2025 vacation, and it was a lot of great, unique interviews that we haven't had on previous seasons. So we're excited to kick off the first episode with our staff.
Yeah, we finally got the chance to have our CEO, Randle Roper, with us sit down for an interview alongside our executive producer, Kim Wilson. And what's exciting about this interview is that we kind of go into what it takes to create the production of an LGBT trip. It's not easy, and it's especially not easy at a time when our community is very much under attack, especially our trans community. And VACAYA is a company that celebrates and welcomes all members of our community.
It's a lot of coordination, a lot of changing variables. So it's a very impressive job what Kim and Randle do. And
our whole staff, really.
Yeah.
We just got the opportunity to sit down with Kim and Randle, and it's not every day that you just get to sit down and hear a CEO of a company talk. And Randle has some really great insights about what it takes to make VACAYA. And Kim has been such an incredible addition to the staff on the production side. And so it's been good. And I feel like we should just get into the interview. We'll have all season to catch up and gab, because there's been lots of changes, but exciting ones.
So let's get some behind the scene knowledge with Kim and Randle.
Hi everyone, it's Trevor.
And it's Kevin.
And today we are finally joined in the VTV studio with two very special guests, two people that are very close with Kevin and I. We have the CEO as well as the executive producer of VACAYA. We've got Randle Roper and Kim. Hi, would you mind introducing yourselves to the viewers? I'm sure, some of them know who you are, but would you mind just sharing your names, your pronouns, and kind of how you identify within the LGBTQ plus space?
Sure. I'm Kim. I identify as a lesbian in the LGBTQ space. I'm the executive producer for VACAYA, and I'm excited to be here.
And I'm Randle. I go by he, him pronouns. And, for the longest time, I thought I was gay. But the older I get, I am actually a little more pansexual. So, so I'm enjoying exploring that.
Yes. Can I ask, this is kind of how it goes, but we'll shift all around. That exploration, do you feel like that's happened in the course of VACAYA?
100%. Because I've been exposed to so many freaking awesome non-binary trans folks. Like I developed these little crushes that it's very difficult for me to I never crossed that line, of course, but it's just stirred this thing inside that I just didn't know was inside me.
Yet. Yeah, exactly. No, that's so exciting because I feel like, ultimately that's kind of the goal, or one of the goals of VACAYA, is that safe space to explore and be like, oh, well, I thought I was only this because I was told that there were only these options. And I feel like that experience happens quite often with our guests.
And Kim, you too? Feeling any pan?
So,
Well, maybe not pan, but I will say that I do find many of the male bodies of our guests attractive.
Me too. Okay, we can
I
agree
have
on
to
that.
say, yeah, right?
yes. Well, boys, if you're watching, you see Kim out and about, give a little wink.
And flex.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to kind of start, I guess, at the beginning, because this is, it's a niche job. There are not many companies that explore and specialize in what you have created and are continuing to evolve and create. And I would love to kind of know what got you here. Like, how'd you find yourself in this kind of niche environment of creating safe spaces for LGBTQ plus people to
explore
travel?
the world.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
I'm like, he's going to make me go first.
Ladies first.
Yeah. I started my career producing a women's festival. And from there, I met a lot of lesbian performers in the women's music scene from way back and was producing them. And from that, I learned about Olivia Travel. So I moved into producing trips for them, and within that sort of discovered my love of travel. So it's the perfect combination.
Yeah. You get to use your skills from
Yes.
doing the concerts and
Exactly.
and entertainment. Yeah, that's great.
I actually first heard about VACAYA because I live in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and the company VACAYA was doing a trip there, and it was quite 10 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
Not quite.
But
the
about 8
P-Town
years,
cruise, the
yeah.
inaugural cruise. Yeah,
and I was
We're almost
very
there, yeah.
intrigued and went and discovered the website and all of that. So I sort of started thinking about VACAYA a long time ago.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yes.
Well, then it's a good thing that we did the P-Town as
Yeah,
the
right.
inaugural
That was
cruise,
our
or else
inaugural
Kim might
cruise.
not
That's
be here.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. So my journey into gay travel is a little like this.
Take
I
us on a
started in
journey.
2003 working for Atlantis Events, which is sort of the grandfather of all gay travel. And, I loved the job, but I wasn't crazy about the company. And although I spent about 10 years on and off with the company, it was never a great fit. And then, so when the opportunity came to sort of form VACAYA and really evolve the experience beyond what it had been, what I noticed was that our community was changing at a rapid fire pace.
Yeah.
But the other companies weren't really keeping up with that. So I saw that as an opportunity with the other founders to really leave a new mark on the LGBTQIAPK community. So that's kind of how I got into the business, specifically with all gay travel to now all LGBTQ plus travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can you actually go into more of that? Because you found something you wanted to do differently based off of where you started and where you are now. Can you explain that difference a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I moved into Washington, D.C., and I somehow found myself surrounded by a lot of 25 to 30-year-olds.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Oh my gosh, so crazy.
The circles that we were developing skewed a lot younger, which was a bit surprising because that wasn't the case so much in Los Angeles. And what I found was, I had one friend, 27 years old, who had never been to a gay bar. Never been to a gay bar. Gay man. Never been to a gay bar. And he's just like, it's just not part of my social fabric. And I'm like, okay. And that was a light bulb ding moment. I was like, okay, well, tell me more. What's going on? Where do you do? And it was really about the friends of all the LGBTQIAPK community, coming together to do fun social things, games, playing games, house parties, and stuff like that. So it just started put a little earworm, or I guess a worm in my brain, but not like an RFK worm in my brain.
But you were experiencing though the gay bar scene,
Of course,
going out,
of course.
having game nights.
Yeah.
You in DC, I feel like really enjoyed that aspect of like
No,
gay
absolutely,
social. Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I grew up in a time where the gay bars, that was the only place. Like there was no
You could meet
apps
to
that
socialize,
if
yeah.
you wanted to socialize, meet, make a boy, have a boyfriend, you had to go to a gay bar to find that, or maybe the gym sometimes. But that, connecting with people at the gym, that's the scary
That's a
part
little harder.
for me. That's harder.
What about for the lesbian community? Like, obviously, Olivia's been around for what, a couple decades?
Oh, 50 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, see, I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
So, and, there's been a decline in lesbian bars. So, what about, I think what's so great and why VACAYA is so lucky to have you as part of the company is having that vast knowledge. Like, what do you find, or what have you found, especially living in P-Town, that kind of is that equivalent for the lesbian community of like, where do you find
Community.
Yeah, where do you find community? Because there isn't like a grinder for.
Is there?
Is
I
there?
actually don't know the answer to that question.
There is, but don't ask me what the name of it is. But I do have friends that
Yeah, it's
use that,
great.
of course. I think lesbian community has always been hard to find. There's the lesbian bars were always the darkest, deepest alley with the, no sign, and you had to practically know a code to get in. I mean, when I was coming up, literally we would go into San Francisco and have to go into an alley and find it. And it was hopping inside, but
Yes, but to get there.
yeah. And now almost every lesbian bar has closed. It's just, I have a friend who calls it the disappearing L. Like we can't find each other, but it's still a struggle to find lesbian community. And so I think part of what I love about VACAYA is that we're inclusive of everybody, and we want to encourage that kind of community of all of the letters coming together, because it's hard to find each other, especially if you don't live in New York or San Francisco.
Yes, those
Yeah.
big cities. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of brings me to asking, now that we're, 9 years into
I
VACAYA?
mean, it's crazy to think that we're already starting to plan our 10th birthday year. I mean,
Yeah, because I feel like we just celebrated the 5th birthday.
I know, right?
Literally,
And I'm already
yeah.
signing contracts into our 10th birthday year. It's just blows my mind.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
To all of us. I mean, really,
Yeah.
we've all worked so hard to get there. So many businesses new businesses go out of business in the first 5 years, and so few make it to 10. So the fact that we've made it, it just puts us in a sort of a nice stratosphere in the world of especially LGBTQ plus businesses.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I think that's a testament to the team that, has been cultivated and created, as well as the guests. And that kind of brings me to the question of, especially coming from Atlantis and Olivia, what is it that you think just makes the VACAYA experience and community just work and so different?
I think guest engagement. I don't think we're providing a product that they just consume. I think
Sure.
we're providing a product that they engage in. And once they do that, they want to come back and feel that again, because that's what community is. It's engaging with fellow travelers
yes,
and people.
that
Yes,
are in your
exactly.
community, yeah.
So the more experiences we can provide that engage our guests, and then word of mouth after that is a huge marketing tool.
So y'all at home listening, we know y'all love to gabble and talk. So
I don't want to minimize that, because it really
Yes,
is.
it's so
There's
important.
It's very difficult to reach our community because we are so segmented and we are located everywhere. So how in the world do you market everywhere? And we've done some big things, the RuPaul's Drag Race stuff, and to get our name out there. But at the end of the day, it's two people coming together and saying, I want you to come on this trip. It'll change your life. I'm traveling on this particular trip with a good friend of mine from DC, Chris, who's like, I had no idea. He said, I had no idea this existed and that it would mean so much to me by the end. It was just really touching. It's like, what you do is magical.
it's true.
Okay. That felt
Yeah.
good. It felt really good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, can I ask a question? So that
Yes.
So that aspect of like connection, community, connecting with guests, what are some surprises that you've experienced with how guests connect with each other? Like besides the obvious, maybe.
The
But,
red
like,
light district. Oh,
But like, do you have any like thoughts about how guests are like experiencing each other? Maybe it's through a catalyst, like some of the games, even.
Sure. I think that is at the core. I am the CEO of VACAYA, but instead of standing for Chief Executive Officer, it's Chief Experience Officer. And it's about creating an experience that our guests can engage with and connect with other people. From the games that we played today at the pool, which was incredible, to the parties, right? The parties that we have, the costume contest, all of the different ways. And there really are different ways to connect. And that's what I love about VACAYA is that we don't just wash, rinse, repeat.
yes.
Wash, rinse, repeat. And many of the other companies, I hate to say it, do that. It's just a factory churning out product, right? But with VACAYA, we start at square one every single trip. Yes, there are some core tenets that are a through line through every adventure that we do. But ultimately, we're creating a unique experience for that destination, for that moment in time, for the crowd that's joined us.
Yes.
You know, it depends. Sometimes we've had as many as 20% lesbians. Well, our programming shifts
Yes.
entirely when that
Yes.
happens. We're using a lot of the data that we have in our reservation system to know our guests, to understand their age range, to understand their gender identity, to understand their sexuality. And then we use that data to really
Help
create-
shape what
to
that
that's
experience and that
exactly
trip will
right.
be.
That's exactly right.
And I think that's what's so interesting too, in that unless a guest has been on, all 4 types of vacation offerings that VACAYA has, the small ship experience is very different than the big ship, and just like the resort is. And so I think that if people have the opportunity to try it all out, if you're not going to like all 3, then you're like, oh, that's why I'll keep coming back to the resort, because that experience, there is a familiarity, but it isn't the same. And that's kind of like what we just did right before this interview was the challenge. And I don't know if either one of you want to kind of give a little synopsis about.
I'll let you tell about that.
Hey, I love reality television, but I like competitive reality. So Amazing Race has always been one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So it was an Amazing Race style race around the entire resort here in Puerto Vallarta, with 30 plus challenges, very sweaty, very fast, but one great 60-minute challenge, just to test all of our different guests' abilities, both in trivia and all kinds of skill sets.
And what's fun about it is that if you want to do it, you can. And there are, we probably had 60, 70.
Oh, I think it was closer to 100.
To 100, yeah, so
about 20% of all of the
guests
guests participated today.
And
which
then
was great.
if you
in
don't-
the middle of the day,
Yes.
when you're fighting with the pool because you really want to be by the
Yes,
pool.
yes. Which also then was a quick shift from last night. We changed it, and literally within 11 minutes, this team was like,
And I'll let Kim tell that story.
yes. But it was,
yeah.
but that also is the I feel like one of the root pillars of VACAYA is that it's not just like, oh, well, it's downpouring rain, we can't do it, and then we're not going to do it. It's like, no, we're still going to find a way to make it happen and evolve it and change it and adapt.
Exactly. And I think part of what's so great about the challenge and activities like it is it engages childlike behavior in people that are full-grown adults of all ages.
Yes.
And that joy is part of what creates community as well. Just circling back to what we were talking about. And also, I think just the visibility of all of our guests having fun together. We have to remember that some people are from Oklahoma, some people are from California, some people are older, some people are much younger, and just that itself is empowering and builds community. That you can see someone being super free with their body and maybe you haven't been, or someone being super free with their sexuality and you haven't been, and finding that kind of joy. All of that is part of what creates our
Well,
community.
I love that word that you just used, joy, because
Yeah.
at its core, that is what we're trying to bring to our community. This is a really rough world right now. And people need those escapes so that they can feel the joy, even if it's just for 1 week at a time. And I love the work that Kim and her team does. I mean, we've got 6 people in our production team, 4 of them are women.
Yes.
Which really speaks to the power of women and their
Yes.
ability to sort of create these really great experiences. And that,
Well, complicated experiences.
Yeah.
That can pivot
Really.
on a dime.
Yes.
yeah, and can I talk? Can
Yes.
I raise you up for just a second?
Yes.
I know you're gonna be embarrassed. But I've been doing this for a long time. I started in 2003 in the all gay world, and I don't know how to say this, but gay men in the role that Kim has, they get distracted very easily with all of the shiny things around. And really, our lesbian team members, they don't. They just get the job done. And that's why you see VACAYA being such a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
It's just because they're not so distracted by the shiny object.
I mean,
over
I think
here
it's a
and
testament
this
to
shiny
just
object
life
over
in
there.
general and the world in general. Women,
Yeah, they get the job
it is
done.
women.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so we're so fortunate, and I think it's great that, especially coming from the CEO, you recognize that because it's, it's vitally important for not just VACAYA's success, but everyone's success. Support women. I wanted to circle back just to the production element because I think what's really fascinating is, are you able to kind of give a snapshot or glimpse into like what goes into making VACAYA happen on the production side? You said that you've got 6 people on the production staff for VACAYA. Like, what? We're gearing up for the Caribbean. We're also gearing up for Mediterranean. Like, are you already in the process of, they're months away at
Well,
this
I
moment.
can set the stage here, and then I'll let Kim fill it with her players. We have an enormous undertaking, especially with the big ships, the resorts, less so on the smaller ships,
Yeah.
but just by a fraction. We have what we call a roadmap, which is about 600 or 700 tasks that have to be completed, from arranging the shore excursions to hiring the talent to arranging transfers for the talent from the hotel to the ship, and so on and so forth, right? And Kim basically manages every single one of the V Team staff members on that roadmap. And take it away.
Well, I'm going to actually steal some of Randall's words, which is we start at the end and work backwards. So, for instance, we have a Caribbean cruise coming up in February, and we know what the itinerary is, what the ship is, how many guests we're going to have. We already know the demographics, et cetera. And so we already know the destination, so we can start there and create a vision that's unique to that destination and this demographic. And we work backwards. And then, when it gets to the actual trip, it's just execution. And staying on the details. And
What's interesting that I hear from that is, for those at home, it seems like booking the trip, the sooner the better for the production.
yeah,
100%.
100%. Yep.
So if, because to me it feels like, okay, yes, if we know that this is the demo, we have this many people, yes, then like...
Well, I'll give you another example. By doing that and booking earlier and giving us that data set to work from, we literally look, like if we're debating between 2 entertainers, for example, we'll take, especially if they're repeat entertainers who have worked with us before, we will literally run reports to show that 38% of the guests on this cruise have seen this entertainer.
Sure.
74% have seen this entertainer. So we might skew more toward the 38%.
Yeah, so there's-
because,
yes.
yeah, because there's a lot of new eyes to experience that talent, right?
Ooh, that's
so again,
great.
we're using a lot of the data to help support the decisions that we make along the way. So I love that. I mean, obviously it's better for us if you book early, but it really does help shape the experience.
Well, a great thing that y'all do too is encourage the guest satisfaction survey at the end of each trip.
Yes.
Yes. After every trip, not only do we read all of those and,
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
really look at them and all of those comments, but we also sort of dissect the trip, how it went in terms of operationally, technically, all of the things, because we want to get better every time. And that is for real. We do.
And you do, by the
And you
way.
do,
Oh, thank
yes.
So we look at how it went in terms of the guest experience and our experience and all of it. So, yeah.
And another important thing to point out that I think maybe not everybody is aware of is that a big ship is not just the same operationally all the time, because those big ships are also different cruise lines. And so that also,
Right.
like, and maybe you can talk a little bit more about that than I have the knowledge, but like, what goes into choosing the ship, and then how do you program it? Because we've talked a little bit about, yes, older ships are actually better for the kind of community building that VACAYA tries to create.
Yeah, can you talk more about that?
Sure. Well, let's rewind the clock a little bit to the year 2025, where we jumped from one big ship cruise a year to two.
Yeah.
It's a massive jump. And what we knew from looking at the industry data is that pretty much every new company that had come into the market trying to leave a mark, when they made that jump from one big ship to two big ships, they failed. Right? So we had to make some really tough choices. And these choices were made before Kim actually joined us. Yeah. But we had to jump from 3,000 big ship guests a year to 4,000, right? Okay, well, if we're going to do two, that means we're looking for two 2,000 passenger ships, right? And frankly, those aren't being built anymore, right? So we had to go a little bit older on that front just to get those numbers, right? And now that we've hit it and we've done it, now you'll see us start to go back up to the Celebrity Edge class ships, more people, 3,200, 3,300 guests. But to get over that hurdle, that 1 to 2 big ship cruises a year hurdle, we had to take a step back. And I think you'll remember, I think it was on Celebrity Apex, which is the ship you joined us on. I stood up on that stage and I explained it. I just like, listen, here's where we are. Every company before us has failed at this moment. So if you love VACAYA and you want us to survive, we need your support. I get it. Brilliance of the Seas, a great ship, by the way. Isn't the
I
newest.
loved
It's
it.
not the shiniest, right?
I felt like I was in old school Vegas on that ship. I lived for it.
Yeah, it really, there was a nostalgia there that was just undeniable.
Yeah, it had
And
its
camp
character.
factor.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we needed people to be there. And if they said, I don't want to go on that one, it's too old, like, we won't survive this. So I really want to applaud our community for saying, no, VACAYA, we've got you. We get it. It's 1 year. We'll do it. And now we're off to the races, which is really great.
You know, being on the social side, I get DMs from entertainers and people who are like, oh my gosh, I just saw VACAYA. I would love to be a part of this. What is it that you look for in talent that you bring on these trips, in the different kinds of trips? What kind of is the thought process about being like, yes, you feel like VACAYA?
First of all, for me, I look at their past performances and all of the things that they've been doing and see if they're not one of the LGBT community themselves, that they're a definite ally.
Yes.
That's pretty much the first thing I look at.
Yeah.
But for me, it's all about the actual full lineup of the trip. It's not about, well, this person's great and so is this person, but maybe they don't really work together at the destination we're going to or in a certain flow we're trying to get throughout the week.
Yeah.
So I try to think about the whole picture first and then think, okay, I need someone that will fit into this day at this port at this time, and sort of narrow it down that way.
Yeah.
And then diversity of all kinds. I want some new people that are I know are good talent, and I want our guests to start trusting that you
Yes.
may have never heard of this person, but they
Yes.
are amazing. Trust us.
That's
you know?
hard. That's really
It's really
hard because
yeah, it is.
we
Yeah.
tend to use a lot of big names. We're known for our entertainment. We don't have one headliner. Everyone on the main
Yes.
stage is a headliner.
Yes.
But their challenge is we bring on these phenomenal people, whether it's Vincent or Nico
Yes.
or
Yeah.
Daya.
Yeah.
Daya, my
Yeah.
gosh.
So good.
And it's just like, the theater ends up being, 70% full, which is so disappointing. And people then hear about it later and like, I wish I had
missed it."
seen them. I missed them. And it's just like, no, trust us. If we bring them on stage, they are worthy of your time.
Yes.
Whether they're an established artist or a new artist.
Totally.
But
Yes.
especially these new artists, they need our support. So
Yes.
come out. I mean, my God, Daya won a Grammy, one of the youngest
Yes.
Grammy winners of all time with
Yes.
her Chainsmokers song.
Yeah.
Oh
Don't
my
Let Me
God.
Down.
Yeah, Don't Let Me Down. I mean,
yeah.
and when she performed, I was literally, my heart was pounding. I was so excited.
And the theater
It one of
was
the-
incredible.
one of the best concerts I've ever
Yes.
seen on a ship. Hands down.
Yes.
Hands down.
100%.
On our Celebrity Apex cruise in 2024, we wanted to do a prom night. Because most of us missed our prom, or it wasn't the
Weren't able
dream
to be our
prom.
authentic selves during
Yes.
our prom. 100%.
So we planned a beautiful prom night, and we wanted to do a pop-up surprise guest. We, through multiple connections, we came into contact with Kim, who had connections with Wilson Phillips. So all of a sudden, we were debating in our production room about bringing Wilson Phillips on there. And we're like,
do that
we are going to have a bridesmaids moment, and I am living for it. So basically, we signed all those contracts. Kim came on as their handler.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yes,
oh, yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the first
Yeah.
little. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so basically it turned out to be just a killer moment for our guests. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
people were,
insane.
they were literally crying on the dance
Cut to
floor.
the footage.
Yeah, right? And it was really Kim who helped us bring that magical moment to life. And I'll never forget one of my favorite moments. They were doing their sound check, singing an ABBA song, I remember. And so there were guests that were milling about the pool deck. And someone was like, who is that? Oh, I'm like, it's an ABBA cover band for tonight. And they're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then, of
Cut
course,
to.
it turned out to be Wilson Phillips. Like, oh, wow.
I do want an ABBA cover band, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. I wanted to end the interview. First of all, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. It's been an incredible week here at Camp VACAYA, and you've done an incredible job of making it feel very much to your point of bringing out that sense of childlike innocence that not everybody got to experience if they went to summer camp because they didn't get to express themselves as who they are.
Without question. And Kim, you led our team beautifully this week. It was every single,
Yes.
I think I cried a little bit every day.
Yeah,
And
I'll probably
if,
cry
and
now.
if something
Yeah.
makes me teary-eyed, like it means the world. I mean, especially today we did the Reach Out initiative
Yes.
with the little children from Pasito de Luz. And my gosh, the moment they
I know,
got
I
here,
saw
I
them, I was
started
like,
to
I
cry.
did too.
And it was such a
Yeah.
beautiful reach out moment too,
Such.
welcoming them into the resort and
Yes.
guests being there as
Yes,
well as
with
the team
our
members.
guests.
Yeah.
It was just really, really touching. So, it's just one of the little things that Kim and her team do to bring all of this magic to life. And I'm inspired daily by you, and I'm
Thank you,
really glad
Randall.
you're part of our team.
Thank you. I'm inspired by you. I am.
Well, you both are connecting community to the world. So I think just like guests see other people being themselves, so be inspired by that. Just like that is happening. The cultures we visit,
Yeah.
fusing that and showing
Yes.
that
Yeah.
the LGBTQ community
Yes.
is beautiful, and we can offer something
Yes.
to every culture we visit.
Without question. And I mean,
question.
we broke sort of news this week
Yes.
by selling out our very first adventure that starts in Saudi Arabia. If you had told me 20 years ago as a gay man that one day I would be taking a gay group into Saudi Arabia. I'm like, okay, sure. But, you know, we're in a situation, a time of change where the kingdom is opening their door, right? And they're doing it, I think, mostly for financial reasons as they prepare to host the World Cup in 2034. But if they're going to open the door and say, we'd like you to come, we're going to come.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you that chance. We will give you the chance. We will walk through that door and we'll see how it goes. And I was just really inspired as well by our guest who just jumped on it. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it sold out faster probably than 90% of our other trips. And it was just really, really inspiring.
Yeah.
Wow.
Testament to the planning and
but
the
it
production
speaks to
elements
like
of-
going in and bringing our community into communities all over the world. And VACAYA, I will say this about VACAYA, we have done so many firsts. Olivia's been around for 50 years, Atlanta's 30 plus years. And we, as VACAYA, are continue to do just
VACAYaneers.
monumental firsts.
VACAYaneers.
VACAYaneers,
I like it.
indeed. So we couldn't do that without the support of our entire team, including you guys. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you for being here.
course.
Let's enjoy these last couple days of Camp
I mean,
VACAYA
right?
until the
Yes.
next camp. And we will see all of you on the next episode. See you later.
Bye.
Hee hee, ha ha, ho ho. I'm very proud of what VACAYA is doing in that it's, you know, really wanting to exemplify the best parts of our community in as many ways as possible. You know, it started out solely as just on those trips. That was the VACAYA experience. And then with the wrap-up videos that are created, with the marketing events that are done, with VTV, you know, and we have merch and products and all those things that I feel like really do hopefully showcase that what makes VACAYA so extremely special is the community that is built around it and built within it. And, you know, the Mexico resort last year was right next to the Mexico resort that we're going to be at this year in 2026. And it is unbelievably beautiful and built for our community in that it's a welcoming space, that it's a luxurious space, that it's what, after years and years of hardship and continuing to struggle, it's what you deserve to like go on vacation with. And I think I'm very much looking forward to the resort this year.
So I hope you'll join us in Mexico this year for our 2026 resort vacation.
Me too. Bye, everyone.